students. So I will be sharing. So I'm going to do that to sharing the presentation. So my presentation is like live. Is it okay? Everyone can see that?
Yes, we can see it. Everybody
Beautiful.
can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. So this is called The Art of Podcasting. There's a wonderful title. And I thank our institution, Rathinam Group of Institution, to giving me the opportunity to explore about podcasting to the international foreign students, like, UAEU students. And I've been doing research on Instagram. Very much impressive. Many students been trying podcast, one thing other, the type of news they share in their status, and even yesterday's I was saying about the cultural photo shoot. Those are like wonderful, because students shouldn't stop just for the marks grade. They should also explore, especially media students should do variety of things, and to know the people, culture, pulse of the people of the their target audience. So today we're going to talk about podcast, and I did a small survey with our students, and few are doing podcast very good, and few know about the anchor.fm, which is very free to upload, not like other podcasts to pay. So for people like students, they can't able to manage on financial circumstances, so they can use Spotify, anchor.fm. So I'm using anchor.fm for uploading and sharing. So today we're going to talk about three things: who we are, like, myself, Mukesh Mohan Kumar, Rathinavani 90.8 Community Radio Director, and from Rathinam Group. So one thing we're going to talk about what we do, one thing. Second thing is what is podcast, how podcasts work, and why do we go for podcasts, second thing. Third thing is you going to explore how we can do podcasts. So that is very much important. So since I'm using mobile phone, because it is very easy to record podcasts, so I'm not going for the system. So I'm using mobile phone for the presentation. So everyone can use mobile phone for the podcast. So second slide is about Rathinam Group of Institution. Rathinam Group of Institution is placed in Coimbatore city, Tamil Nadu, India. What is the special thing about Rathinam is, when a baby, he or she, born on earth, he or she joined from the school days, that is called Rathinam International Public School. From the schooling to college, he or she can join any type of courses in arts and science college, in engineering or architecture, or like, physiotherapy, which is come in the medical circumstances, or like architecture, management. So variety of courses we offer in our Rathinam Group of Institution. One of the part is called Rathinavani Community Radio, which is media part. And thankfully our government, UGC been ranked Rathinam College of Arts and Science A++ grade for the practical things and the success stories we do. And also they have ranked A+, which is the first institution in engineering college. You get a A+ for the first circle of UGC NAC committee. And also, like, Rathinam International Public School, we're doing a lot of Atal incubation startup for the kids. And also, after completing graduation, either UG or PG, students have two choices. They can either join job, or they can start up a new company. For job, a lot of placements are happening inside our campus, because we got a lot of companies who hire people inside for the IT development. So we give job through placement inside the campus. Other thing is, some students have idea to start up new idea, kind of, which is kind of a startup business. So for such people, we get crowdfunding, government funding for startup business. So in this legacy, we got a media sector, which is Rathinavani 90.8, which we got award from National Award and other lot of awards for the new media. So one of the part is Rathinavani, and myself, Mukesh Mohan Kumar, who heading this Rathinavani 90.8 community radio for two different paradigm. One is for FM broadcast. FM broadcast is in kind of, we got a frequency called 90.8. So through 90.8 frequency in Coimbatore, you can listen the radio, our programs through our FM. Also online, we do a lot of podcasts, which is entirely different paradigm. We upload, or sometimes we do exclusive content for podcasts. So this was like, we got 38% of podcast growth in last year, 2021. And 6 hours have been people listening every day. 6 hours we've been listening, and 19 countries till 2021. From 2017 to 21, 19 countries people listening podcast. I think this may be a qualification. Ms. Quinn may have chosen Rathinavani and myself to present about ourselves regarding this podcast, art of podcast session. So why we are here? Like, no, I'm in Coimbatore city, Tamil Nadu, and the students, many students are from UAE, from the Abu Dhabi. We are here to connect regarding podcast. So what is podcast? So I just need an answer from students. What is the difference between existing media, whatever media that is, existing media to podcast? Why we have to give importance to podcast? So let me have your answers. By voice, I can't able to read since I am sharing the screen. So I just need a voice answers, vocal answers if possible. You're there?
Yes, everybody there. Can anybody answer? What do you understand by podcast? Maybe they can comment, they can write on it and I can read.
Yeah, okay. No problem. Yeah, definitely. Yes. Yeah.
Amna says sharing a specific message.
Okay. Why do you want to share specific message through podcast?
Noor says multimedia digital file distributed over the internet to be watched and listened to on a computer, iPod, and other device.
True, very true. Yeah.
And Alanod says a way to share information, information or messages digitally. Alia says streaming service that uses audio. Hamda says depend on the sound, there is no video.
Yeah, that's an important thing, because audio is an amazing thing. Audio is an amazing thing which is very easy to produce than lighting, than color or like framing. Apart from this camera, or maybe a picture or a video frame, this podcast come like an audio format which is very easy to convey the language what our target audience can understand. So podcast will works easily. So we're going to learn how we're going to produce. Any more answers, ma'am?
Yes, there are a lot of them. So we have Muhammad. He says a podcast is an episodic series where you can discuss multiple subjects.
Very true. Yeah, very true.
Abdul Salam says you can listen to it while you're driving, while you're doing different stuff. And Adam says you can listen while driving.
Yeah, yes. So we can go to next slide. So we are here to discuss about podcast, and very happy and thankful to people who have been interacting regarding my first question, which is podcast. So history of podcast begins from 2004. In the period of 2000, early 2000, for a person like me, for an Indian, getting internet access is a big deal. We want to walk to the browsing center. We pay some bucks of 30 Indian rupees for 1 hour. So we sit, we browse. It takes a lot of time, for the surfing, internet surfing thing. And later, now in 2017, we got 4G internet to each and every people phone. So podcast growth is from 2004, 5, 6. You can have a history from the link what I shared. Especially when organization Apple found from iPhone, the podcast network reach was very much improved from 2007. Especially in India, I observed from 2015 to 17 is a growth period, because people been observing about YouTube. So they've been searching something about audio, and they found something very interesting is Google Podcast or other platform. And 2017, people are listening more on podcast in India. So it differs each and every country. So for the analytic purpose, I share the link, so you can note down the link, and you just visit the link and you can understand the history of podcast. So what we Rathinavani 90.8 community radio does is a very important thing, because in India we got a 300 radio sector, which is community radio sectors. We target on the people who have been placed in a particular demography. So demography, it means like minimum 15 kilometer to maximum 25 kilometer. So first community radio was started in Anna University by our Dr. Sridhar sir. I hope he's here in the presentation. I'm very thankful for him. So also, you've been encouraging each and every institution, educational institution, to start up the community radio, and also NGO sector to help people. So what kind of help we provide? We provide we teach a layman about digital literacy, how to use mobile phone, how we can do a financial transaction, online banking, how we can use mobile application for modern India or like a modern world, how we can use mobile phone for the normal layman who have been a tailor or security person. So in a country like India, it's overpopulated, and sharing knowledge is very much important. So what we do, we ask them to come to studio, we teach, we record that, we put in on FM and also online podcasts. Many people used to listen to podcasts, and from even in Indian Army, one of the Indian Army general, who the Tamil person, who listened our podcast and called, and they appreciate it very much because they love their country. And they say, like, I love my country, I do my service, and I can see the love from you as a media person to teach what you know as a sharing knowledge. So these are our success stories, and we have been selected as a UNESCO's fellowship to do community service as one of the fellowship program. So these are some example as a picture I shared. So regarding, as I told in the early 2021, our success story, like, 38% of followers been increased in our podcast channel. And, our major prime period, like, people listen is 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. And, so far we've been released 2000 plus minutes content across 104 episodes just last year alone. And also, like, many students have been involving this production. I wish after this presentation, I wish UAEU students also should start a podcast channel. I guess they already have. Still, like, they can have a particular channel in anchor.fm. They can release something like in a community base, or like, cultural oriented promoting podcast for the people of UAE. So our statistics, male, it is like 53% of listeners are they, female 33%. In a not specified sector, it is like 14 members. In India, 14% of people are listening. In US, like 24%. So every program, every episode has different idea. So in Apple Podcast, people listen 49%. Anchor, through anchor.fm, people listen to 6%. And also we got an audience demographic and age wise, like 17 years, till 17 years, some percentage, So you get these demographic will be encouraging you to promote and target which kind of program to, we should target to the community. When you talk about movies, I believe age sector of 15 to 13 will be listening more. When you talk about family ethics, or, cultural ethics, I guess 13 plus to 50 may listen. When you talk about senior citizens, care of senior citizens, the maybe like 16 plus to 17 age category may listen. So you being a designer, you being a program designer, you can design your program which these statistics, and also anchor.fm will be giving all the statistics. So again, I kindly request you people who want to be part of this podcasting to download anchor.fm, which has been presented by Spotify from your Play Store. If it is like an Android mobile, you can download from Play Store, or if it is an iPhone, you can download from Apple Store. It is anchor.fm. That is an application. It takes 5 minutes or 4 minutes depending on your data speed. So you can download and you can use that. I may share a link if it is possible. I can share a link. We can do a live podcast right now. Okay. So when you download, they will be asking your email ID, and again, it is a very basic setup: password, date of birth, to know whether you are like an adult person to use this podcast. So have a name. The basic, try to do a basic register thing. Later you can change it as it is you want. So our channel name, it is like Tamil language. So people who search Tamil language podcast in Google, we Rathinavani pop up. That is the keyword SEO, search engine optimization workout. So Tamil language podcast in Rathinavani 90.8, Rathinam College Community Radio, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. So see, the 5 W's have been covered. Where it is, what type of shows we do, everything is been covered in the title itself. Again, I did a small survey with our UAEU students and also with Rathinam students, and we got 50 plus students been attended, and I can show you the names who have been attended. And I asked them, like, did you ever try a podcast? In 63, 8 people told, yes, I do. And only one person, Anchor, I think it's me. I just did a test. Actually, I don't know whether it is any other people have been trying Anchor. I don't know about that. So one person mentioned about Zoom. I don't know about Zoom podcast. I'm sorry. Voice note, again, it's a new knowledge. YouTube, again, we can do YouTube podcast, but podcast, again, it is like, audio medium. It is not a video, right? So anyway, this is the answer we got. And do you know Anchor.fm podcast? There's a question, and nearly 21 people been answered. Yes, I knew. Okay, fine, perfect. So next question was like, did you watch the new film called The Batman? So 23 people told yes, I watched the film, and would like to talk about the Batman film, and the 15 people answered yes. So I'm going to share a live podcast link with this 15 people, but only few have shared the email ID. So what I do, I will share the link in the chat box. So you can click and you can invite yourself to this podcast party, and we'll talk about the movie The Batman if you watched about that. Is that okay, ma'am?
Absolutely fine. Totally fine.
Yeah. Perfect. So I'm going to share a screen from Anchor.fm. So this is the purpose. I used a mobile phone, so which is very easy. So I'm getting inside the podcast channel. In this podcast channel, there is a plus. There is a plus between the screen. I'm going to plus that. So they say like invite friends to join. So I'm going to invite. Wonderful. Okay, I have the link. Link in the chat box. You can.
Yes. Were you sharing something, Mukesh? And did it get hang or something?
Bandwidth problem.
Can you hear me, Mukesh? I think that Mukesh's internet is having some kind of issue, but I do see some of your comments. I see Adam saying, I don't want spoilers. Abdul Salam says, I didn't watch it. I don't want to get spoiled. I see. So yeah, I don't think we will share the story about the Batman, but I think we'll just talk about the technicality of the film. I think it's just about, I think he just want to share about in the sense of the technical audio, not just about the whole movie making. But yes, so I can see he's gone offline. So I think he's got some internet problem. In the meantime, how is everybody doing so far? Is everybody all good? Can everybody hear so far? Whatever you've heard about Mukesh, was it clear? Or my mic is mute as well. Can everybody hear me? So yes. All right, I can see. Yes, you have to write today, whatever you have listened to, whatever you've got to know, some things about podcasts. Yes, you have to write it down. Just few words, that's it, saying that you have attended the workshop with Rakesh Mohan Kumar, and we'll just give a few more minutes for him to join back. So hopefully there's no problem. Khalifa says it was lagging at the beginning. I see. So yes, now as you all know, and as everybody is going to be, working on your project at the moment with your podcast, I do want you to have a list of questions. Does everybody have a list of questions? Okay, Hamid says yes. What about everybody? I want to hear all from everyone. You should all be having few questions to ask because this is all about podcasts. Alanud says, oh, doctor, you look beautiful. That is very kind of you, Alanud. Thank you very much.
If you want, on behalf of Mukesh, I can play back anchor.fm for you. I have a good bandwidth. He has referred to me also in his speech. I am Dr. Sridhar Ramurthy here in India. I have two things. I also have a podcast, iRadio Live, and I can also talk to you, anchor.fm, where I can share my screen with you till he joins.
Yes. Okay, yeah, we can do that till he gets back, So yes, you're most welcome to share.
Permission to share the screen?
Yes, please. I will make you the co-host.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to show you. Yes, my desktop. Okay. Let me go to anchor.fm, which is what Mukesh was telling you. Okay. Anchor.fm or Spotify is easy for me. Spotify, which he was telling you, Spotify web player. Are you able to watch my screen?
Yes, we can watch it. We can see it.
Okay. Now there is a search item in Spotify. Is the even Mrs. Obama, Michelle Obama is having a channel for her. Okay, so this is the all audio. Okay, you can just top 50 global. Okay. It is not free. A lot of things are not free in the podcasting. Okay, I can just put you Rathinavani itself. Okay. This is a Rathinavani. Okay, this is their podcast which Mukesh was telling you. Okay, I'm just showing it to you. Rathinavani, Samudaya Vanuji, Rathinavani. Are you hearing?
Yes, we can hear it.
He has done a program on International Women's Day. I can fast forward it.
I think Mukesh is here now. Is Mukesh, are you here? Can you hear my voice?
I'm closing it. Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Mukesh?
Mukesh, I played only your program on Spotify. Okay.
Yes, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Is he online?
I can see him online, but I cannot hear his voice. So yes, I think this is a problem with the internet.
He is doing it with his phone. That's a problem. Sometimes the net connection. Yes, Mukesh. Okay. Mukesh? No idea.
It's fine. It's fine. So yes, Mukesh is saying, I'm not audible, so we'll log out and log in. Yes, now we can see his comment. For sure, that's fine.
Okay, that's what, I just made a simple Rathinavani in that Spotify. You got a very good quality. He has been doing it, and then as usual, like YouTube and all, you got a Spotify premium also. And then they collect money and they share money also if your podcasts are good. Today with the war which is going on there in the Russia with Ukraine, a lot of podcasts are there.
Yes, and I think with the Spotify, definitely my students are really into it. I think all my students are listening to Spotify. So definitely they can browse and they can check out.
Google Podcasts, you also got Apple Podcasts, okay. And you yourself can start your own podcast.
Yes, this is what we actually wanted to learn from Mukesh, about how to start a podcast, because my students are currently all working, doing a project about podcasts. So definitely would love to hear more.
via anchor.fm. Register yourself with an email ID or a phone number, and then you get a connection. And anchor.fm itself will tell you basic editing, basic recording. A small menu will come. You want to record it on the phone. You want to edit, it will give you. It will also give you some music, royalty-free, free music as background music. And then your program is ready on your phone, and you upload it. But of course, they will compress and stream it. People who pay money, they will give you very good quality.
That's wonderful to know. And what about everybody? Has everybody ever heard of this particular application called Anchor?
Anchor is purchased by Spotify. So
I see.
Spotify, Anchor is part of Spotify.
That's a good thing, because my students can definitely use it, because right now they're doing a podcast, and I think this is the application Anchor is going to be very helpful for them. So do check it out, everybody, with this application. Adam says, how much do we earn per podcast? That's a really good question, Adam. So we'll let Mukesh answer your question. So we'll leave, definitely I'm going to keep that question for Mukesh to answer.
Presently, earning from podcasts are very, very little, unless you reach a figure of 1 million. 1 million not hits. Beyond 1 million, you will get, Spotify gives you money. But you can also get a sponsorship from local persons. The moment you cross 10,000 listeners, you can always go and ask the local shop owners to sponsor it, and you can get back your costs.
And is it different from the Apple Podcast and the Spotify?
No, everywhere, Apple, Google, Spotify, all that you'll have to go there, free version, go there, register yourself, and then start as a content provider, and then also as a listener. Content provider, they don't charge you. Content listener, there is a premium listenership as well as normal listenership. Normal listenership is free. Not all podcasts are free. Some people like Michelle Obama and other people, the actors and actresses, they will allow you only 5 minutes to listen. And then if you want you to hear it, please subscribe to us. Now, subscription is also free as well as payment.
But is it English?
No, podcast can be in any language.
No, you talked about your podcast channel. So I was just asking if your podcast channel is in English.
Podcast channel is, of course, i-radiolive.com. i-radiolive.com, I'll give it to you. But that is anybody, of course, it's paid. We charge a very minimum of 2,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees per month to give you a non-commercial platform. That means, like Spotify and YouTube, we don't take money from you. You just pay for what you want to do it. But of course, I'm not here to popularize that, but I just wanted to give you. Mukesh has joined. Very good. Mukesh. Okay. So 2,000 rupees is around $20 US dollars.
I can see Mukesh going on and off.
And off and off. It's okay. I'm deputizing for him. I'm now 75 years old. I started the first community radio in India way back in 2004, and also the first podcast for even in his own Rathinam College, 2014. We had a teacher on the fingertips. That means every teacher will be on the fingertips of every student in their mobile phones. That means every teacher will have a podcast channel. Every teacher will record his or her lectures. And then the students can go and then listen to her teacher. And that was the thing. But that was at that time, the data was very, very costly. Now, India is a country where data is very, 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 very cheap.
So it makes easier to create podcasts now.
Yes.
Hello.
All our people create podcasts in half an hour or 30 minutes to 1 hour. One podcast is ready. Because what? You should have a very good script, you should have a good voice, and you should have a good equipment. Any smartphone with an external mic is needed. Do not use the, right now I'm using my condenser mic. You must always, whenever you want to do a podcast, you should have an external mic or a lapel mic. If you have a lapel mic or external mic, you can use that.
So you have also been working with Rakesh.
Who is Rakesh?
Sorry, Mukesh. Mukesh. You have also been working.
I've been working with Mukesh for the past few years.
Oh, okay.
Mukesh is down south. I am in Delhi. Mukesh has joined.
Yes, but hello, Mukesh. Can you hear us? I can see his video. I can see him. Can you hear us?
Mukesh? I think he has got a very bad connection today.
Yes, unfortunately. Yes, Hamda, you can put up your questions in the comment.
He's now okay. I think he is okay.
Okay.
Mukesh?
Yes, Mukesh, you are not audible. Hamda says, I have a question. Yes, Hamda, you can put your questions in the comment.
Mukesh can answer the chat. You can just ask him a question. He can type the answers. Okay. Okay, Zoom also you can do the recording and take the audio and put it as a podcast.
Okay, Hamda says, my group and I started recording in Zoom. I see. And when you say my group and I, but my Zoom problem is that you can't let two people talk once. Okay. So that can be a problem, especially if you have, it's lagging. I see. So this is a problem with the podcast, is that the main important thing about podcast is the audio, right? The information. And if the information is not able to be, sent and listened carefully, and it's not very clear, then there's no point, of doing it. So you have to really figure a way in order to really make sure that whoever is talking, communicating, can really listen to each other and the information is very clear.
Doctor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, Zoom a problem that you cannot let two people talk once. If two people talks in once, like it's lag. Sometimes you want like to add a little bit of comment or just to say yes, to know that, to let the other person know that you are give them an attention. Especially in the interview, sometimes you just like to add a little comment just to let the interview person or the guest know that you are give him attention.
I totally understand what you're saying, Hamda. Totally get it. So yes, this is a problem with the Zoom recording, is that, yeah, sometimes, the voice cannot be very clear, and this is a problem. So if it is not very clear, then there's actually, you have to make sure that you do it in a way that everybody can actually listen to the voice, So when you're recording, once you're done recording, just make sure, just check the voice and everything. If everybody is, if you can listen to everybody, it's audible, that's very important.
Yeah, we let like the one person talk until he ends all of the everything he wants to say. Then we add our comments. But my question is with the program, I forgot to know the name of the program that you tell us about.
Mhm.
Can we like 2-person or 3-person talk in once, but it's totally clear?
I think if you're meeting face to face, honestly, and then recording it, I think that would really make it really audible and, you know, good quality. If you're doing a group discussion or, you know, group conversation, if it's like a group or whether it's just two people, I think it's always nice to have it in one particular room and have the voice being recorded.
Yeah, we think about that, but the problem that my group, everyone from a different part of Emirates, not all of them in Al Ain. So
Mm.
it's hard a little bit. Some of us in the Fujairah, some of us group A, and some of us group B. So it's hard, like, to all of us become in one place.
I get it. Totally understandable. So nobody's coming to university, is it? Don't you ever have like where everybody can actually come into university? I think many of you have started going into university, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, so you should try to make a meeting, you know, once in a while, because this is about group recording, right? So you want to do it properly. It's a project. Then you have to make that commitment of at least meeting once in a while, having that recorded in the university itself, in one of the classroom possible, you know, because this is your final project. So you have to do a little bit of effort there in order to meet, no matter you are from all different parts of the UAE, because like, yeah, so with the online, having recorded just online, it can make it a little bit of problem in the sense if you know, the voice can have, like, you can have issues technical as well. I think you've already mentioned about Zoom recording and online recording. So it's best if you can actually really do it face to face, you know, and it's not like you're going to meet every day. It's just having that meeting, you know, maybe in the month of like last week of March, we're almost coming up to spring break. Yeah. Or having it recorded done in the first week of April. So
Yeah, we will think about it.
I
It's
think
a bit hard.
Mukesh
But we
is
will
just
think.
joining you from a different location. Within 2 minutes, 1 minute, he is joining you.
okay, thank you.
Doctor,
Yes,
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can I have a meeting with you in your office hour?
Yes, we will have it after this particular session at 11:15. All right.
Okay, thank you.
So yes, all my class is online and I'm not in UAE. So who is this? Is S. I'm not in UAE. Are you an international student? So yes, for the podcast, the project that you're working on right now, not every
No, doctor.
member- Yes.
I'm Sharina. I'm not international student. I'm traveling for a treatment.
I see. Serena, you for the podcast that you're working right now with your group, it's not compulsory that all of the members have to record the voice. You can be part of this project. You can be doing the writing part, where you're doing like the questionnaires, doing the research, doing the project. So not all members have to record and speak. It's only like few members you select according to your members, and divide the work accordingly, who can speak very well, who can write very well, because doing this podcast is, you need two parts. One is speaking and one is doing the writing, and also one is doing the editing. So you have three parts here. So with the group members, you can decide who are going to speak and who are going to do the writing part, like the script writing, interview, doing a research about the topic, putting it in your project report. And the third one is someone who can also edit the podcast. Is that understood with all? So not everybody needs to speak, or, you know, you have to record. It's not compulsory. Okay, Asma says there's two groups, group A, B, yes. So yes, I know there is two group A and B, but it'd be really, really nice if you can actually meet up, if it's a recording, it would be really nice if you can really meet up in a particular location and have the recording done. Like I said, it's your project. It is out of 30. You know, it's a big mark right now. You've done with your quiz one, you've done with your midterm exams. And I can fairly say that everybody has actually done very well for quiz one and midterm exams. And I'm sure you definitely want to do very well in your project as well. Am I right? So far I can see everybody scoring up out of 30, almost like everybody's got like, 29, 28. Most of the students, I see all of the grades, they've got like 29, 28, like really high, so 27. So I haven't seen anybody who's got really like very low. It's mostly like from 25. So far everybody's doing really well for quiz one, for midterm exams. The remaining that you have right now are the final exams, right, in the month of May. And then you have is the final exams, and you have is and then you have is the, wait, I see Mukesh joined in. Yes, Mukesh.
Like, sir, there is some data issue when I joining the Anchor and Zoom in one particular network. I think data issue.
Yes.
So, so it's very simple actually. I told you can log into Anchor. There will be a plus symbol. Clicking that, and you can invite number of people to talk on particular issue. Issue in a sense, not an issue, a subject. On you can mix the sound as a bed, and you can podcast, publish at whatever time you wish to do that. It's very simple. And is there any more questions I can answer?
Yes, a lot of students have a lot of questions. So let's go on for the question round. So all of the students out there who are working on the podcast right now, they're doing a project actually, Mukesh, at the moment that is like, with the podcast, or like mobile podcast they're doing. So I would like you to tell them a little bit about like the mobile podcast, which is like, starting with the content creation. They've got like several topics. UAE culture, for example, saved environment, for example, health and well-being. So can you just go about it, like how to start in the sense like the content creation? Yes, and then go on about how they do recording and then the editing and then.
From the traditional media production, we got two methods. One is offline production, one is online production. Online in the sense of live production. So as an individual myself, I go for offline because we can script each and everything. What kind of content we can speak and what kind of music we can add. So we can pre-plan everything in offline. In live, live it is kind of we can't say what comes what, in which minute what comes. So for example, when one student going to the museum, UAE some museum, and they want to do a documentary on museum. In offline production, we can do a audio documentary script for the entering into the museum. I can talk what I want to talk, one thing. So you can record in the studio without noise, make it very perfect. You can add the music. If you're going for a live, a live event, you just want to land there. You have to say like, I'm Mukesh Mohan Kumar. I'm standing in front of this and this place. I'm going to meet the people who have been visiting today, Tuesday in the afternoon. So it is not very much scripted. It is very live. So it depends on the client, client in the sense university perspective to do a offline production or online production. One thing. Second thing is, if you're going for offline, you can do a research on target people, target audience. What kind of music they like, what kind of speaking modulation they like. Some people, for me as a listener, I love people who speak very slowly. But I'm an individual. I'm not a slow speaker. I talk very fastly. So I love listening to slow people, and they say like, today afternoon we're going to see about museum. So which kind of museum? So see, I can't able to speak, so I love people speaking very slowly. I say beautiful, beautiful, and beautiful. So some people, they love the kind of sports commentary very fastly. They say like, he's coming, he's bowling 200 kilometer speed. So it depends. So for offline production, we can do magic and magic, but on live is we can't say what is going to happen next and next. So let me know what students love to do, if it is like a recording show or live show.
So what actually, one of the questions the student was asking, I think it was Hamda, I said, Hamda, was that you? She was talking about a recording on the Zoom. Hamda, are you here? Can you actually ask the same question to Mukesh about your issues with the Zoom recording? Can you hear me, Hamda? I'm not sure if Hamda can hear me. So Hamda was actually, she put up a question saying that she recorded on Zoom. And the reason why she recorded on Zoom is because like the people that they are having the interview sessions is actually living from different parts in the UAE.
Okay.
And she was telling me that when they do the Zoom recording, the voice is not very clear.
Yeah, again, I'm saying, like, Zoom is an app for the video conference. Okay, we shouldn't confuse the purpose of using application, I guess. And if you're going to, as like Hamta is saying, I just want to record a person which is in who is in abroad. Actually, I support or I recommend to use Anchor.fm. As I shown, you can click that plus symbol, and there will be a link to invite people. And when they join, the recording progress start, and we can record and we can edit and we can publish later. There is no video, so the bandwidth will be okay, I guess so. So Zoom, it is meant for the conference, like we do as a session for a webinar or like company meeting, and it depends on the bandwidth, because some people will switch on the video, or I don't know, there's a bit some technical issue again and again. But for the podcast, it takes like for Anchor.fm or any other podcast, it takes very low minimum bandwidth for the recording purpose. So I think that will be okay. Like it will be okay, I guess so. Or as a traditional method, what I say is give the answer. I mean, give the questions earlier to the person. They can record each and every answer in offline mode. They can share the answer through email. For question number 1, I'm answering this one. So you can download that. You can mix it with your anchor in the sense, RJ talk later, and you can release that as a series, for the first episode, second episode, regarding the issues, whatever it is.
I see. And Adam was also asking, how much do we earn per podcast?
Okay, as an Indian in India, it is not at been in a business mode. When it the channel like Anchor.fm, when it comes like a revenue model, they may pay this kind of 1,000 listeners. They may get some Indian rupees. I don't know what is the cost they pay for UAE. But it depends. Like a YouTube model. And if you get this much of thousands viewers, they will be paying for some payment. So it depends. What the best way to generate revenues, have a sponsor for your show. Okay, for example, if you're going to target only about food industry, go and talk with the people in your area who have the hotel or restaurant. Say, I will promote you. I got so much of listeners in my podcast. So what you want for that, you should have a demographic to show it is a men or women or boys or girls, and from which region they're listening in UAE, which part of UAE they're listening. So I can promote your food culture to the people. I can make them walk into the restaurant. So it is a kind of a marketing thing. So you need a market research data. For that, you have to produce some shows earlier to show the demographic. What Rathinavani does actually.
Very interesting. Any more questions? All of you students, they are all working with the podcast at the moment. So yes, can everybody start putting down your questions so that Mukesh can answer? Any questions? Is everybody here with us? Okay, Hamda is. Yes, I can see a lot of yes. So yes, you all are working in the podcast at the moment with your team members. So how far is your project going with your podcast? What is it that you find difficult at the moment? And
Okay, let me ask the student. Are you done with the pre-production thing? Pre-production comes from the what kind of context we're going to do one thing. Regarding the context, we have to do research, and from the research data, we have to make a sample script. So, are you done with these 3 parts? It's very much important. Very much important when you sign up for any project. It is maybe a academic purpose or like professional practice, whatever it is. we need to do with the content. What kind of content we're going to do? One thing. Second thing is,
Yes.
are you done with the research part? And from the research, you have to do some script. Even I did a script, mentally for this presentation. So you can see what kind of work I did, regarding the screenshots or data, what I shown you. So you should show up something for the production, are you done with that part actually? So I can help you on that even.
Yes, they've done with they've chosen a topic. They've chosen a topic.
Okay.
They've started doing the research. And I
Okay.
think they've started with the production part, but I don't know if they've started the action part, which is the recording. So how many of
Okay.
you have done recording? How many of your students, all of the students here in the class, have started your recording for your podcast? Noor says we did. And Hamda says we recorded. Shuk also says we did.
Good. Okay. So
Okay.
can you play that? I can listen. If it is in Arabic, I love that. I don't understand Arabic, but still, I just want to listen. If it is okay, you can take in charge and play and let me listen.
Yes,
So for 2
that would
minutes.
be lovely. Did
Yeah.
anybody complete it?
Oh, it's in English. Oh, beautiful. Okay. All right.
Hamda says we are all in one group. So Hamda, did you actually complete it? Like, can you show us some of, yes. Do you mind sharing it with us? Maybe Mukesh can give you a little bit of feedback and maybe you can make some changes. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lovely, lovely. That would be nice. And also, Mukesh, can you actually tell us a little bit about like what is a solo podcast, what is an interview podcast, and what is a group discussion podcast?
See, again, everything is depending on anatomy, what we're doing for the last 100 years in media production for television or radio. Podcast is a medium, kind of, we may do with a mobile phone, an application to upload and we share. But the production, again and again, we prove that one basic thing is traditional practices. One important thing, it is not going to change at any period of time. So what kind of a solo podcast? Solo podcast is what we're going to explain what is our idea about some subject, one thing. So interview again, when I'm talking with you,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn, like, what is the experience, or like, what is, again and again, we're just proving what BBC done, or what Channel 4 done, or what NDTV in India, or what Times Now, Sun TV Network are doing it even now.
Yeah.
Maybe the makeup may change, or maybe the anchor may change, or maybe the questions may change, but again, the anatomy, the backbone, the skeleton never going to change, one thing. So second, discussion, one important thing about podcast and the broadcasting network is, broadcasting network got rules and regulations. For example, in our community radio, we got some legacy to follow. We shouldn't talk about some subject, we can't able to discuss what we think easily. So there is a rules and regulation for each and every channel, even UAE there's channel. So if you take that is in podcast, it is very easy to talk. You can talk anything what you think in a podcast channel, and you may get a feedback regarding the same. So podcast and the broadcast network, one important thing is there is no set of rules to be followed in podcast.
I see. Yeah, the reason why I'm asking you about these 3 types of podcasts is because the students at the moment are currently doing a solo podcast, they're doing an interview podcast, and they're doing a group discussion podcast.
I say, like, the order is very beautiful, and I just like we should assess in a way how much they score for a solo podcast, and we should give a particular feedback what you're doing with a solo podcast is good, and what can be better. For example, pronunciation may be one thing, one part, or like, what kind of grammar or what kind of style they use in solo podcast.
So yes, and so Mukesh, they have like several topics that they're working on right now.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so they have like UAE culture, they have like saved environment, health and well-being, pandemic. So they have like several topics, and they have to choose one of the topics, and then they do the podcast, which is mobile podcast. And then I have asked them to divide the podcast into 3 things, which is like group discussion, solo podcast, and interview.
Yes. So that is all, like, content, research, and getting a feedback from the guide or mentor, and getting into the production. So they should have a production script actually with them. in the sense, how many seconds or minutes will be about the introduction, how many seconds or minutes will be the first participant interview questions. So they shouldn't exceed the exceeding the duration of the recording. So they can save their own time and also the participant time regarding the same.
It is clear.
Yeah, and we can see that, but we can't able to listen.
You can't able to listen. Even
Yeah, we are
if
not able to hear it. Yes.
it's from my phone. It's
It's
weird.
from
that
your
it's
phone?
No, it's not happening.
Okay, let Noor try if she can share it.
Yes, sure.
Okay, she's in my group
Okay,
too.
okay. I got a question. Seeing this picture alone, one thing is the picture. That is it did you mix it with audio, video, or it's an audio and a thumbnail of the picture?
Okay, for the
Yeah.
logo, it's it's about multiple pictures we get from Pinterest, and we mix it all together. So this half is the brain, this half is like an idea,
Okay.
and yeah, it's a mix of many pictures.
I'm asking you, it is a thumbnail in the sense of one picture, or did you mix each and every audio they will be coming on picture, because that is called video, that is not podcast.
No,
So
it's a mix actually.
okay, that comes like an Instagram video or like YouTube video again, right? Podcast is purely in audio section, audio method, right? So in which platform you're going to launch this podcast?
Maybe I think we didn't discuss that yet, but I think we're going to put it on Instagram
Okay.
or on
Again,
YouTube.
Instagram, it's a medium which is called Instagram video or audio. Again, it's not a podcast. Podcast is an audio medium. Podcast should be an audio medium.
Yeah.
You can see that link what I shared in the anchor. It is still in the chat box.
I see. Yes, I totally get what you're saying, Rakesh. The reason why the students are uploading on the Instagram and they're uploading on the YouTube, but also, today with the podcast, there are so many podcasts uploaded on Instagram and YouTube as well.
Okay. That's okay. That's beautiful. But again, that is not podcast. Podcast is an audio medium. What you upload in YouTube is a video.
No, I'm just even if they are not, the question is even if there's no video in it, if it's just like the thumbnail and just the audio, so is that not podcast?
No, that's not a podcast. It depends. YouTube, whatever comes, it is not a podcast. It comes like a YouTube video.
I see. So
we try to make it in an audio. In an audio podcast.
It should be very audio, very much audio. We can have one. Yeah.
Okay, then my next question comes into, there are lots of people doing podcasts today. Like you have lots of social media influencers, YouTubers, bloggers, celebrities as well. But most of them, they are, as you can see, the podcast is available on YouTube, Instagram. So do you think they're mixing everything up?
Yeah, that is for a transmedia purpose, kind of, they're doing on audio and putting the YouTube, because YouTube got more viewers than comparing to the podcast universe. Comparing to the podcast universe, we got YouTube universe participants are more and more. So they want to reach out. See, I got a channel in this network. Maybe in Anchor.fm, maybe, or Media for Community, one channel. So see, let me say this way: when you record and upload an audio to an Anchor.fm, it will take you to the Google podcast automatically. Okay, it will take you to the iTunes automatically. But the YouTube or Instagram never does that. YouTube or Instagram never does that. You want to click that Instagram link, you have to watch. That is in Instagram. You want to click that YouTube and you want to watch in YouTube channel. But in podcast, when you upload in a particular platform, it will take you to the Spotify. It will take you to the Google. It will take you to the Apple. It got many platforms to listen. So what I ask, so that is beauty of podcast. That is the beauty of podcast.
This is interesting to know, Mukesh, because this is what we actually learned from you today about this Anchor. Yeah, so thank you. We have Abdul Rahman put up his hand. So Abdul Rahman, what question do you have?
Doctor, I want to tell you that if anyone wants to share any video, he should to turn on share audio from Zoom settings.
I see. So you're talking about Zoom setting if anybody wants to record.
No, if anyone wants to share video, he
Okay.
should to share audio.
Share audio. I see.
Yeah,
In order to record, is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I got it. Yeah.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any more questions?
Doctor, could you please make me the host to share?
Okay. You are, yes, I am going to make you the host. So yes, as Noor is working on sharing her podcast, what about other students? Do you have any more questions? Do you want to ask anything in relate to podcasts?
Can I start it?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Welcome to Social Minds. It's my Nabi.
You can hear it?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay, good.
We'll mind reading, but it's a damn good place to learn about all things social media. Take your social media presence to the next level with your hosts, Alia and Hamda. In our first episode today, we are going to talk about talent development in social media. Some people may not see the amount of changes and creativity that appears on social media platform, but it's very huge that you can get support even from the last continent.
Social media is a real blessing. Even with the rise of TikTok, everyone is able to share their talents and the strangest recipes of food. I mean, who even needs to go to American Got Talent or any talent shows? With just TikTok, you can stay on top of the trend, engaging with audience, and even create your own brand.
Can't agree more. I actually have a funny story that happened to my friend like a year ago. She posted a transition video of herself on TikTok. You know that trend when you film a normal version of yourself and then make a transition to a beautiful version of you? Instead of posting it on her private account, she actually put it on public on accident. And she had like almost 100K view in a day. Like, how insane is that? She called me and she was very confused. She told me to go and check out her TikTok ASAP. And she was very shocked. She wanted to delete the video. I tried to convince her to keep it, but yeah, I guess fame is not for everyone.
No way, that's insane. I would have deleted the video too. It's so scary but mind-blowing how you can create an audience in a day. That's pretty amazing. I have a special guest who's coming. I'm really excited to have her in today's episode. It's the one and only Hazel Magheri. She's a big media personality and an inspiring person. Welcome, Hazza, to today's episode.
Hi, ladies. I am so excited to be here with you and talking about an area that I would consider to be not only my passion, but my full-time job, and as well something that I love doing every day.
We
So
are
thank you for
excited
having
too. We wanted to ask you some questions and get your opinion on skills development through social media. As you know, social media is an open network that allows the person to be anything they want. So do you think social media gives you the ability to be yourself?
I mean, that question differs from a person to a person. Now, with a social media platform, it's whatever you want to show people. Like when it comes to me, yes, it's for me because I want to be myself. I want to show what Azza is. I want to show what an example of Emirati woman is, a woman is. So yeah, I do show myself. But that doesn't imply on anyone. It depends on what are you looking for in terms of using the platform. So I cannot answer in general, but I can answer about myself. Yes, I feel like social media actually made me realize who I am truly as Azza.
Oh, I really like your point. Some people think the majority of talent on social media are fake or not real. What is your opinion on this statement?
See, I've noticed, girls, that there's a lot of people who are against social media, to be very honest. I've been on social media for 6 years. I started this when things weren't really acceptable in social media. I mean here, or let's say 7 years ago, when it wasn't very common to see girls on Instagram putting their real name, showing their face, talking. Right now, a year ago, 2 years ago, everyone is doing it. Everyone's using their name. Everyone is showing their face. So there's a lot of negativity of people thinking that social media is like not serious. People are faking. People are showing up their real life. Now, as I mentioned with the first question, with everything in life, there's 50-50. Not everything is the same. Not everyone is the same. It all depends. I mean, you have people who show the real deal. You have inspiration people. You have people who show the real life, no fakeness. And you have the other fake side. But to be very honest, some people like the fake side. Yani, it's not always negative, Tara. Having someone who show a fake side, the good life, the comedy, the extravaganza, because other people love to live.
Thank you, Noor.
You find a lot.
Sure, you're welcome.
Yes, that was lovely. We will keep that whole recording for me to listen. That was really interesting. But yes, as you've heard few of it, Mukesh, what do you think about it?
Very professional, actually. It's amazing, actually. One suggestion, this is a kind of suggestion, is when you introduce a guest and when the guest is speaking before that, we should have some musical instrument like taka, 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 like after that, like the guest will be saying like, hey, I'm this and this, for the production. Because when you talk, it is a very flat. There should be some music element to make people to feel okay or something is happening. So that is called, we call it as a bed, actually, bed, B-E-D, bed. So bed is kind of, it balances the jock talk interview in a balanced mode of a rhythm. Some music. So that is a small suggestion. If it is okay for the target audience to okay, it is okay. Yeah, perfect.
And what about the music that they started off in the beginning?
It's beautiful, but it's very loud, actually.
Yeah, it's very loud. Yes.
It's loud. You should reduce 2 or 3 decibel sound. I was talking with myself. Okay, you should reduce 3 dB, minus 3 dB. 3 dB, just 3 decibel will be okay.
Sure. Thank you so much. We will take this in our consideration, inshallah.
Okay. My questions are coming right now. Is one thing, in which medium you recorded this the recording?
At Zoom. We use Zoom to record it, yeah.
Zoom, kind of this Zoom application, video conference. Okay, right. One thing is okay. Next is, in which medium you're going to submit this one? So for the academic purpose submission, in which medium you're going to submit?
We are discussing to share it in YouTube because at Instagram it will be hard.
When you submit this in YouTube, it is a YouTube video. You got it? So okay, what I'm saying is, take this audio alone, upload in any podcasting application. Just research in. I'm not an ambassador for Anchor.fm, but still I'm using Anchor.fm. I'm just using Anchor. I'm a specialist in Anchor, so I can say about that. Or if you want to pay, you can pay some amount for the new startup Anchor people. A lot of people are there, so you can pay some amount for the project alone. You just pay them and get the support and have a partnership with them.
I think SoundCloud is also best choice, isn't it, to upload?
Very good choice. But again, there is an issue with SoundCloud is when you upload SoundCloud, it won't take you to the Google. It won't take you to the iPhone or like an Apple network. It won't take you to the Spotify network. You got my point. So you should check with what are the channels they're promoting. So when you check with Anchor, you can see there are 16 platforms they support, 16 channels, Spotify, Apple, Google. So as I shown you the demography, we can see, okay, how many iPhone people are listened, how many Spotify people are listened, how many Android other application are using. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, we learned about Anchor today. We totally learned about this Anchor today. It's also my first time hearing about it, Anchor, from you. So thank you so much. And my students have also heard about it. So we almost come to the time to actually end the session. But we have one more question. MBR says, what about copyright?
Okay, copyright in the sense of any application or like a method of copywriting? What do you mean by copyright? Is there any application? I don't know, like whether it's an application or really you mean the term copyright, scripting?
Or for adding the music.
Okay, all right, yeah, adding the music. Copyright, okay. Anchor.fm got the library, which they got their own copyrights. So you can add the music from them. There won't be an issue in the future thing. But if you're doing it offline, in an audio production, you should be very careful about the copyright issue. It is going to be a big issue in the future.
Yeah, that is it. Amna says they can use copyright free music as well. That is a good one.
Yes. Until and otherwise, they won't go for a copyright in future. They won't they won't go for reserved copyright issue. Like until and otherwise, it is good.
Yes. So thank you so much, Mukesh, for joining us here today in our session. Alanur has got a question just as we're about to end. So yes, Alanur, hit on.
No, Doctor, it's not about the podcast. I was just going to tell you, where will we do the meeting after the class?
Yes, we will do it in the Blackboard, okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So yes, thank you so much, Mukesh, for being with us today. It was lovely, lovely chatting with you. Lovely to know a lot about podcasts, and my students have learned a lot from you. So thank you so much.
As I told you earlier, I wish UAU should have a podcast channel, in particular channel. You can upload
Definitely,
all.
we are
your
working. We are working. We are working.
So
We have just submitted a proposal. We've submitted a proposal, and we are just hoping that it will definitely open up in the future. We can't really say exactly when, but we are hoping it will be opening up soon. And we are very, very happy that you have come and you have give us immense information and knowledge and share your wisdom with the students. So thank you to all my lovely students for being here. And thank you so much, Mukesh. And inshallah, we will have it face to face when pandemic is over. So thank you, everybody. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, students. And do your best. I'm looking forward for your productions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everybody.